If you have problems trying to understand tax administration, this is the show for you. My name is Oyinlola Saleh and this is a Tax Talk.
This is business news. The Lagos state government has commenced talks with private investors for feasibility studies on the construction of the green and purple rail line systems to be completed in 3.5 years. The Green Line is a 68 kilometers rail designed to run through Marina, Victoria Island, Lekki Phase 1, Aja, Lekki 2, Ogombo, Elepetu, Eluji, Lekki Airport and Lekki Free Trade Zone. It is projected to carry over 500,000 passengers per day for a start, rising to over 1 million in 2031. Similarly, the Purple Line is a 60-kilometer rail designed to run through Redemption Camp, Mowe, Long Bridge, Isheri, Tollgate, Omole, Ogba, Agege, Iyanapaja, Isheri Oshun, Igondo, Iva Estate, Lasu, Okokomaiko, and Ojo. Managing Director, Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, Engineer Bolaji Akintola, who disclosed these at a briefing in Lagos yesterday, said the project was part of activities marking the 20 years of Lamata's operations. According to Akintola, the 6 rail systems that are differentiated by colors, namely Green Line, Purple Line, Yellow Line, Orange Line, Blue Line, and Red Line. He said the green and purple are the 2 rail lines Lamata intends to tackle next after the blue rail line. The Senate Committee on Appropriations has called on the federal government to stop the provision of tax waivers and concessions to corporate entities. The committee expressed concern that the nation is experiencing substantial revenue loss due to the tax waivers and incentives. As an alternative, the committee proposed that companies should fulfill their tax obligations entirely to contribute to government funds and subsequently apply for rebates if necessary. The chairman of the committee, Senator Adeola Olamileko, and other members stated this during an interactive session on the 2024 budget with the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edo, and his counterpart from the Budget and Economic Planning Ministry, Atiku Bagudu. A tax accounting and audit consulting firm, Ecovis OUC, has advised the federal government on the need to ensure a reliable gross domestic product data. This came on the heels of the third quarter report on Nigeria's gross domestic product report recently released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The latest GDP report shows that Nigeria's economy grew by 2.54% year-on-year in real terms to 19.44 trillion naira. This growth rate marks an improvement over the corresponding period in 2022 and the preceding quarter of 2023, which shows a positive trend for the country. This is also the strongest number on record so far in 2023 amid election jitters and the impact of the various government reforms. That's it on Business News.
I will make a start shortlist business. They give them 150k to my friends. Let's do this. Taxes? I didn't even think about this. So I'll have to pay tax to build a house in Lagos. Maybe I should take a remote job. That way, I can avoid taxes. But wait though, bloggers and content creators pay taxes too. So tax officials in Lagos monitor digital space for tax payment. Wait, why don't I start importing and exporting of phones and gadgets? Bro, how far now?
Femo, how far?
Bro, I won't join the business where they do.
Oh, small. You just need money. I hope you have your tax clearance certificate.
Tax? Are you kidding me?
Without it, shishi, you know fit do. You have to visit the nearest tax office.
I can't believe it. There's no way out of this. I have to face my tax obligations if I want to start a life in Lagos.
Dear Lagosians, your taxes enable the government to invest in education, healthcare, security, housing, and many more. By continuing to pay your taxes, you are investing in a brighter future for all. This message is brought to you by the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
You're still watching the Tax Talk. Today, we're going to discuss on tax audit and investigation, what taxpayers should expect, Joining me is Mrs. Bolaji Akintola, Director of Tax Audit at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Wow, it's really great to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here.
The word audit makes people feel uneasy. So can you give a brief explanation on what the Tax Audit Directorate does at LIRS?
Thank you. So the Tax Audit Directorate is a directorate saddled with the responsibility of carrying out the tax audit exercises. Basically, what that means is that the provision of the law in the Personal Income Tax Act, Section 47, gives us power to go to companies and check their books for compliance with all the tax laws. So we only do it in arrears. So tax audit is an exercise that we do after the company has finished paying the taxes for the year. So let's say that we're in 2023, we are not going to go and do audit for the year 2023 right now. So, but maybe next year, maybe in 2 years' time, we can go back and check the books for 2023 and see whether that company complied, their level of compliance, whether they fully complied and remitted all that is due to LIRS. And whatever was not remitted or whatever was not remitted adequately, like under remittances, we mop it up. And also the law allows, once we establish that liability, the law under Section 74 of the same Personal Income Tax Act allows us to charge interest and penalty on it as a deterrent, and which automatically translates into higher compliance and more revenue for the agency.
What's the difference between tax audit and tax investigation?
Well, tax audit is the periodical review of the company's books to establish level of compliance. We have the power to audit up to 6 years prior. If you get a letter for audit, you don't have to feel uneasy. It doesn't mean that you've done anything. We're just coming to check for compliance. But investigation is totally different. When we carry out investigation, it means that we have been informed. We now have information other than what was given to us on the field. So we normally get to do investigation a lot of the time because of whistleblowers, when they give us additional information about the company or about the organization that were not given to us while we were on the field. And in the case of investigation, we can go back many years. It's not limited to 6 years. We can go back many years. And if crime is established, it can also be escalated. So the main difference between them is that investigations are normally specific. We go in to look at the books for the infractions that somebody has petitioned against the company. So they come with all the evidence. So we specifically go and investigate. And this can go back until we're sure that the issues have been taken care of.
And how has the Directorate managed tax assessment inquiries by the taxpayers?
Thank you. So LIRS as an agency, that is the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, as an agency, we have a call center where you can channel all inquiries. And if specifically the inquiries that you have or the objections that you have are specifically on tax audits, liabilities, or the tax audit exercise that has just been concluded, then we have help desk at the Tax Audit Directorate where you can come physically or you can send in your letters. We also have a reconciliation process.
I see.
That is, if an audit is carried out, you have 30 days within which to raise objection. That is, if there are aspects of the audit that you are not happy with, you have the law allows 30 days for you to react by objecting and stating the ones that you do not agree with. And we also expect you to pay on the part that you do agree with. So we expect the undisputed. Where there are no disputes, then we expect you to pay on that amount. And then to specify exactly what you are not happy with and to provide supporting documents to that effect. So, and then there is a process also for reconciliation where the company representatives or their consultants are invited, and then they bring the supporting document, we go through it, and if they are right, if, let's say, for instance, remittances paid were not properly captured,
Okay.
and they come with the receipts, then we know that they had paid, and then we resolve it and include those payments, and which would also affect the final outcome. So that is what we do if your inquiry is specifically on the assessments and on the tax audit.
Speaking of companies that you're unable to audit due to economic reasons, such as cessation of operations, how do you manage them?
Well, there's so many reasons why we may not be able to audit a company. So, for instance, new companies that are not yet due for audit, companies that have relocated to other states and are no longer within the Lagos State jurisdiction. We also have companies with wrong names. So if we get to a company and we discover that some companies have trading names and they also have the limited liability names. So once one name has been audited, which is the company, the limited liability name, they're not due for another audit. So sometimes we do have that where we have double allocation. And also we have where companies have totally left Nigeria, and we have companies that are distressed and they have sort of gone under. And so we treat all this differently according to the situation on ground. We resolve these issues by collaborating with other units within the agency, like we collaborate with the Personal Income Tax Unit Directorate. So because they have tax stations, they have over 40 tax stations spread across length and breadth of Lagos State. So we can give them the name of the company and let them know that, oh, we can no longer find this company at the known address or the registered address, and they should help us scout their database to see the new address. If all fails, then we refer the company to intelligence units, because we've had instances where companies are distressed and so they do not trade or they do not work for some years, and then they come back bigger and better, and they are then able to pay whatever was outstanding. And even when companies go under due to distress, the receiver managers always put the debt to the government as priority. So we do follow up until they're able to pay us.
Wow. Mrs. Akintola, thanks for all you have said so far, but right now we need to go on a quick break.
Okay. Thank you.
We're going on a short break now. We will be right back.
I will make a start shortlist business. They give them 150K to my friends. Let's do this. Taxes? I didn't even think about this. So I'll have to pay tax to build a house in Lagos. Maybe I should take a remote job. That way, I can avoid taxes. But wait, bloggers and content creators pay taxes too. So tax officials in Lagos monitor digital space for tax payment. Wait, why don't I start importing and exporting of phones and gadgets? Bro, how far now?
Femo, how far?
Bro, I want to join the business where they do.
Oh, smart. You just need money. I hope you have your tax clearance certificate.
Tax? Are you kidding me?
Without it, shishi, you not fit do. You have to visit the nearest tax office.
I can't believe it. There's no way out of this. I have to face my tax obligations if I want to start a life in Lagos.
Dear Lagosians, your taxes enable the government to invest in education, healthcare, security, housing, and many more. By continuing to pay your taxes, you are investing in a brighter future for all. This message is brought to you by the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
Welcome back. We have been discussing on tax audit and investigation, what the taxpayers should expect, and I still have here with me Mrs. Bolaji Akintola, Director of Tax Audit at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Now, taxpayers are always wondering how to navigate an audit, what they should actually be aware of when LRS comes knocking. What do you have to say regarding that?
Yeah, well, when we come knocking, before we come knocking, actually, we would have sent a notification letter notifying you of the tax audit exercise. So contained in that letter, we have all the list of the books that we want to check and the years that we want to go through. To make it easier for you, we also have details of the auditors that will be coming to your organization, and also the details, the contact number of the LRS person you can phone to discuss any issues regarding the audit date. So if you get all those books ready, then the audit process will be obviously easier. And also number two is if you had filed, you are supposed to file at the beginning of the year. And if you had filed, the filing process would have made you to prepare your books, in preparation for the filing. So this would have helped anyway. So it means that you already organized your books of accounts, all the necessary things, your audited financial statements as well. It would be nice if you've done that when you should have done it. So between the filing, preparing your audited accounts, and then keeping all the books according to the law, and keeping vouchers for minimum of 6 years so that we can come and inspect them in a very organized manner. So, and also because of technology, a lot of companies are now automated, and so things have become easy. They're becoming easier for both the companies and for the tax inspectors.
And how do you use technology to enhance the effectiveness of tax audits?
Well, I'll start by saying the most popular thing that everybody knows about the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service is that sometimes ago, we were only collecting 600 million per month.
I see.
And now, everybody knows that we are collecting so much more in billions and billions. So to be able to achieve this was partly due to technology, where we stopped cash payments, and so you cannot pay cash to officers. So automation by making all payments through the bank system. Then we have the app, the payment app of the electronic banking system that generates and issues receipts. And from this receipts, you can actually check whether the receipts are fake. Like if you take the receipt to the embassy, you can actually check because it's automated, and the reference number,
okay,
you can check. So technology has really come into play, especially for tax audit, like I said, because tax audit is a revenue generating agency. Right now, we have the e-tax, where you are able to log on to your e-tax and use the payment platforms, put the details of what you are paying for, and also make payments. And the money will instantly come into tax audits for the year that you have paid for. And then the receipts, you can also print your receipts from your end, and you can also generate tax clearance online from the comfort of your room. So all this we're doing, and we're still improving, but we're doing all this because of the ease of doing business agenda of the government.
How do you ensure that audited reports comply with the guidelines?
We have a running template before the audit, and these templates and the timelines, they are already approved by management. So we don't just run the way we want. So the process flow is approved, the timelines are approved, and the system is not fully automated, but has a lot of automation involved. The apps that we use to actually go and gather the information to check the reports, they are all the teams have the apps on their laptops. So we extract information the same way. All the teams extract the same way. So we are very consistent in the way we extract. And when the information comes into the agency, it is the process, the way we process it to be able to generate the demand notices is also very stringent, and it is done the same way for every report. So we are very, very meticulous in how we do this thing, because we want the taxpayers to really believe, to really see the integrity,
Yes.
so that they are more they feel comfortable to pay, and they don't have to go into drawn out reconciliation process, or we don't have to escalate to legal, who has the power to use the law or legal means to recoup or to recover outstandings.
Well said, Mrs. Akintola. Thanks for coming on Corporate Talk today. It's been a great one with you.
Thank you very much.
We have come to the end of this discussion with Mrs. Bolaji Akintola, Director of Tax Audit at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Don't go anywhere. The Tax Talk continues.
I'm happy with the level of work that we've seen thus far. By the second quarter next year, towards the third quarter, they should finish this entire road construction, so that we can hand it over to the citizens and also can be available. A lot of the alternative problems that we have, either on Kudrat Abiola Road, even going as far as going towards Alausa, this is an economic development. We're changing the face of traffic management, we're changing the face of commuting in Lagos, and we're changing the face of access to modern infrastructure, roads, and development. It's going to be a bit of furniture that you're going to see on this bridge. And eventually, it will look like what we see in other developed nations are the kind of infrastructure development that we're doing in Lagos.
I make I start shortlist business. They give them 150K to my friends. Let's do this. Taxes? I didn't even think about this. So I'll have to pay tax to build a house in Lagos. Maybe I should take a remote job. That way, I can avoid taxes. But wait, bloggers and content creators pay taxes too. So tax officials in Lagos monitor digital space for tax payment. Wait, why don't I start importing and exporting of phones and gadgets? Bro, how far now?
Femo, how far?
Bro, I won't join the business where they do.
Oh, smart. You just need money. I hope you have your tax clearance certificate.
Tax? Are you kidding me?
Without it, shishi, you no fit do. You have to visit the nearest tax office.
I can't believe it. There's no way out of this. I have to face my tax obligations if I want to start a life in Lagos.
Dear Lagosians, your taxes enable the government to invest in education, healthcare, security, housing, and many more. By continuing to pay your taxes, you are investing in a brighter future for all. This message is brought to you by the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
Hi, my name is Nifemi. You're welcome to Tax Your Brain on the Tax Talk. We have an interesting question for the residents of Lagos today. Let's dive right in.
internally generated revenue.
Internally generated revenue.
Internal generated revenue.
Internally generated revenue.
Internal generated revenue.
Internally generated revenue.
This is our first winner on Tax Your Brain.
Thank you, Tax Talk. Thank you, LIRS. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
It's a wrap for today. I hope you were able to learn something. See you next time.
That's all we have time for today on the Tax Talk. As usual, our social media handles are on the screen. Don't be stingy with your follow button. My name is Oyinlola Saleh. See you next time.